Alright guys, so we should be finished with our map now, and this is what it should look like. Remember, we just filled in the Gadsden Purchase, where we bought this little area, this little part right here, to finish off the Transcontinental Railroad. So, remember that was a railroad that went all the way from this side of the country all the way up to this side. It went across the entire continent. So it's called the Trans, means across, Continental Railroad. So we're almost done with our map. What I want you to do is I want you to get your highlighter out now that I gave you. And we're going to shade in and we're going to kind of look at, we're going to continue through history in order to look at how the geography changes a little bit. Okay. So what we haven't talked about yet is when we actually entered the Civil War. And this starts to look a little different because then we divide the country between the North and the South. Okay, so here's the South. What I want you to do is I want you to actually just take your highlighter and shade in the area that I just popped up here. So all of this right here with your highlighter I gave you. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of shade in this. Don't push down too hard or color it in too much because then the paper will get all gross and it'll start to rip. Okay, just make sure that we've kind of shaded in where the Confederate or the South was. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to label it Confederacy. So remember, this up here was the North. This was the Union. All of this up here, all the way up until right about the Mississippi River. That's our cutoff. So this would be the Union. And then all of this down here was the Confederacy. Okay, so that kind of starts to change our map a little bit. So the next important thing I want us to look at is I want you to see where the Mississippi River is. You can still kind of see it. You might want to color back over it. Oh, goodness. Well, my line is kind of messed up, y'all. So kind of color back over. This line should really be over here. Kind of color back over it, over your highlight. I want you to take a look and I want you to see the Mississippi River. What do you notice about it when it gets down here to the south? What does the Mississippi River do to this area in the south? It kind of runs right down the middle, doesn't it? It cuts the Confederacy or the South in half. So remember, guys, that's going to be really important when we actually start fighting all these battles down here in the South. And the Union, the North, is able to take complete control over the Mississippi River. So they own the Mississippi River. So then what that does is people over here can't cross to over here. They can't send supplies back and forth, food back and forth, or even messages back and forth anymore. That's going to cause some big issues. So not only is the Mississippi River really important to the economy of the United States, it plays a key role when we start getting into the Civil War because it literally divides the Confederacy, right, the South, almost in half. All right, guys. So now what I want you to do, that's it for your map. What I want you to do now is go on to the next activity on your Schoology. So go back to Schoology, go ahead and click next. It'll be up here somewhere. And we're going to move on to the next activity in our Schoology.